this number.
Warning, the following show contains conservative posturing, radical Christian ideas, and may offend pagans, Wiccans, Islamic fundamentalists, and other unenlightened individuals. Callers and guests may be subjected to brash and offensive comments by the hosts and any other type of bullying tactics available. But that's okay. We know why you're here.
This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
Tonight is May 10th, 2009.
What's up, what's up? You're listening to World of the Unexplained. This is Jay Scott, and sitting in for Mr. Trent Lackey tonight is...
Big D. How's it going, everybody?
Big D Clements. Tonight, we've got for you a variety of craziness. We're going to bring on Jason Offutt here in a little bit, author of Haunted Missouri, and some other stuff. I'm going to do a blurb on the back of his upcoming book, and I've got a couple of chapters with me that he sent me for that, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later. But anything on your mind, D, you want to share?
Well, at first, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day.
That's right. Happy Mommy Day.
That's right. And, of course, congratulations to yourself on
Thank you. It's my one-year wedding.
One-year anniversary.
Anniversary, yeah.
And then, of course, the other thing I have a little tirade to put out there.
Don't mention any names.
I'm not going to mention any names. There is this particular school where a particular professor works at.
That's right.
And the student in question did not pass the course.
I don't know if you want to talk about this, actually. It might be bad.
Really? You think?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it break, and then we can bring it up.
Sure.
Okay.
No problem.
I want to rant, though, a little bit.
You go right ahead.
Barack Obama. God. That's all I got to say.
Dive right into it. Huh?
877-722-7382 is the number tonight. That's local. That's a free call, toll free, anywhere in the United States and Canada. That number again, 877-SCARE-U2. And you can be patched right in here with Uncle D and me and talk about anything and everything paranormal in nature. We're going to talk a little bit tonight about black-eyed kids. We're going to talk about UFOs. We're going to talk about shadow people. We're going to talk about all kinds of craziness going on here in around the United States. If you've got any stories of your own you'd like to share with us, you can hit us up at 877-722-7382, and you can bring that to light. I've heard rumor now, and I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard rumor that there's a picture going around of Barack Obama that someone in New York had commissioned apparently to celebrate his 100 days in office, and supposedly it's some kind of mock crucifixion scene. I don't know if how many of you guys have heard of this. We have our guy on the line there.
Yes, sir. Actually, and I tried to look.
You tried to find that too. I did too. I couldn't find.
And I couldn't find anything about that. All I could find was the one that had all the different pictures with Barack that created his face. I couldn't actually find the particular one that you're talking about.
I can't either, and that bothers me. But I mean, I don't know if it's something that if it's something that's just been batted around. But someone told me they saw it, and so if you guys have seen this, I want to know. Obama is. Hang on a second, I might have found something here. Barack Obama painting depicting Obama as Jesus. Let's see. Will not be displayed at the 100 Days in Office celebration. Okay, this was on April 28th. This looks like this was a...
So apparently they did think that it was a little too...
Apparently...
I won't say sacrilegious, but...
Well, Let's see, Barack Obama painting depicting Obama as Jesus will not be displayed at 100 Days Office celebration.
Well, it's not like he...
Well, it's not like he did it.
Yeah,
someone else did it. And, I don't know. It just seems a little sacrilegious to me. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? 877-722-7382. And we've got right here, here we go. I think I found it. Is this it? No, hang on. Yeah, I don't want to do that. No, I was looking for the image here. That is it.
Yeah, That is it. That
is
bad.
awful. So he's got his arms up. The presidential banner of the United States is behind him, and he's wearing a crown of thorns. That is just
That is pretty bad.
that's terrible. That's terrible. Anyway, we got Jason on the line with us.
Yes, sir, we do.
Jason Offutt, what's going on, my friend?
Not a lot. And we don't need art to show the president is Jesus because the media has been doing it for the last year and a half.
I agree.
Well, and there's a lot of different depictions of other things. Like there's another one that's over there. It looks like he's basically like Buddha almost.
Yeah, this one right here.
Yeah.
This is terrible. If you go into Google Images and type Barack Obama painting and then followed by the word Jesus, you'll pull it up probably around the let's see, it's right on the first page. You'll see it. It's that's just really bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's just bad.
Don't depict him as Muhammad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's already doing that himself. You know, so oh man, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it, Jason. What's going on with this world? I thought it was bad enough that we were where we were and he won the election, but come on.
Well, the funniest thing that I heard him talk about recently was he talking about how we've got to stop all this spending. We have to watch what we're spending.
Well, he's the one that's been spending the
he's
money.
Spending all the money.
You know, it's horrible. It is a horrible, horrible thing. And then, we had the Tea Party, and then he gets all mad about us having the Tea Party, and basically calls us a bunch of rednecks. He doesn't come out and say that, but someone does. What's her name? That Garofalo? Yeah, the lesbian-looking woman. Yeah.
What, Janine Garofalo?
Yeah, that's her.
She's a comedian.
Yeah, she's a comedian. She's not very funny.
Never really has been very funny.
Now, what's this? I also heard something about over the weekend about Barack Obama putting, wanting Dijon mustard or something for his hamburger. You familiar with this?
No, I haven't heard anything about that.
Huh. Did you hear anything about that, Jason?
No, but I like Dijon mustard on my hamburger.
Well, no, hang on a minute here. I think I found something here. No, well, yeah, that's because you're an elitist like Barack. Then
I
mean,
guess.
who wants to? I actually requested the Grey Poupon. Let's see here. MSNBC hides Obama Dijon mustard here. Obama's favorite network reported on Obama's trip with Joe Biden to get a burger. Just two old wild and crazy guys out for some red meat. Andrea Mitchell, does she have anything else to do? Reported Obama ordered a burger and mustard. Sounds like it had that real guy kind of quality.
And did he say, do you have any, by the way, do you have
Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?
One of the funniest things about Obama that I've read about recently, he was addressing journalists, and he made a joke, and they called it a joke. All you guys voted for me.
Yeah.
The journalist took it wrong. He was not joking.
All you guys voted for me. Well, I saw the Hannity thing where it showed, where all the, the press would always, generally, they would, stand up for a president in the press room. When he came in, he walked in, they'd all stand up, and then they'd sit down when the president spoke. Well, with George Bush, if you kept looking back at the clips as it went on, they just remained seated. They never would get up. The only time they got up was at his last final address. They all stood up. And then when Obama comes in, they're just giddy little schoolgirls out there ready to jump up and down and wave the flag. I mean, it was awful.
What did Chris Matthews say during the election? Whenever he speaks, I feel a tingle go up my leg.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe we have media like this. It's awful. Although they're calling it now Dijon Gate. Let me see who I need to attribute this to.
Maybe they've actually got all the chairs rigged, like the old theaters.
Oh, yeah,
so
where
when they
like
come
Tingler,
in,
just
press
gives
the
you a little
button.
shock. God, it's awful. But, one thing I do want to talk about real quick before we get into more of this, but are you guys familiar with Michael Savage's show, I'm sure, The Savage Nation?
Yeah,
Yes,
I listen to Michael Savage a lot.
They have banned him from the United Kingdom.
And he is looking to sue.
Yes, he is.
Sue them, yes.
And I hope he's successful in that suit. But banned him for United Kingdom. They're putting him in the same category as skinhead neo-Nazis and terrorists, just because of his free speech that he has a right to speak about. This is America. We got Ron Paul Hunter from Raleigh online. Ron, what's going on?
Hey, not much, guys. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good.
Pretty good, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I've often had problems with Mr. Savage, I guess, in the way he interprets stuff. I think it's kind of not, I won't say funny, but it's bordering on it.
It's bordering on what?
Well, I mean, he seems to really hate the idea of anybody ever smoking marijuana, things like that.
Well, I mean, that's his right to say that if that's what he feels, right?
It's the United Kingdom's right to ban him, too.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of communistic, isn't it?
But in the United Kingdom, when people have a drug addiction out there,
They hook them up with
hook them
methadone.
up with for free. They give you all your stuff for free.
Yeah, well, it's not a debate of cultures. They're just saying that they don't like the way he does his business. You know, he's not expressing his opinion on a soapbox on a street corner. He's got a national radio show.
Do you
People have the choice to listen or not to listen.
Exactly. You can change the
you
channel.
turn it off?
It's a matter of having something broadcast as part of the public record, too.
No, so we should ban all free speech then?
Some of his free speech is bordering on hate speech. That's the point they're trying to make, is they're saying that his speech is a lot closer to hate speech than it is to free speech.
Like what?
Instigation.
Oh.
You know what a call to action is, don't you, Jay?
I do. I'm familiar with the case law that follows it too.
Okay.
I don't think anything that he said is anywhere near any of that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've listened to him talk, and he's pretty adamant about his arguments. He gets very emotional about them, but sometimes I think they're lacking in substance, I guess, is the closest thing I can.
Well, he's an entertainer first and foremost.
Well, I mean, they tried doing the same thing with what's his name, Howard Stern.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Well,
but then all he just
that's
went
a
to
great
just.
comparison. Howard Stern always had a lot of content and depth in his show.
Yeah, that's why I went to Sirius, I guess.
Yeah, but you know the funniest thing is that when he was having his ratings problem, more of the people that listened to his show were all the people that complained.
That's right.
And you know what? Great.
That's I mean, that's what being a shock jock's all about.
I've got something to open up on the Obama front. How about that?
Okay, do you eat Dijon mustard on your hamburgers?
No, I do not.
Okay.
No.
Just asking.
But
You're
what do you
like
think
good old
about that-
Coleman's.
What do you think about the National Day of Prayer? He didn't have a lot of people over to the White House for the National Day of Prayer. He just had a sort of brotherhood Christian message, I think.
That's because he has this. Because he doesn't want to see him. He doesn't want him to see him take the rug out.
Oh, no, come on. No, I don't.
Where's
I don't
Mecca again?
I don't see any. I actually don't see a problem with that. I think.
No,
that's
I think it's
all right.
fine.
That's
I think it's fine.
I don't know. I mean, underlying, I see it's like almost a challenge to religion, though, to redefine itself, I think.
Yeah, but he has the option to his own private, I guess
He can do what he wants to.
Religious beliefs. If he doesn't want everybody over, he doesn't have to have everybody over.
That's right. When he bows to the Saudi prince, he goes in their mosque. I mean, hey, it's cool. Yeah. What? I don't have to defend this. I'm just telling you what he did. I mean.
When did he bow to the Saudi prince and then go into a mosque?
Oh, he did. He bowed to the Saudi prince on his last trip out there. He bowed to the Saudi prince, and then he went into one of the mosques out there, washed his hands and all that stuff, and went inside.
I think he was just showing respect.
Yeah, I don't see Bush doing that.
Synagogue or something and visiting. It doesn't mean he converted to that religion.
Why didn't he go and visit the graveyards of our fallen soldiers? Maybe.
Well, I guess there are not many of them buried in Saudi Arabia.
Well, I'm not talking about there. I'm just talking about here at home.
Oh, he's in Washington, D.C. I mean, technically that's part of where he is and what he does, and he's supposed to be running the country. That's why.
I hear
he's not
you, man.
going to visit people's graves, quite frankly.
I hear you, Ron. Ron, look, we're gonna have to let you go, but buddy, we got a guest on here tonight we want to talk to, but give us a call back here in a little bit.
So I heard, man. It sounds like a great guest. I heard his stuff before. I'm looking forward to hearing the new chapters.
Okay, cool, man.
All right, man.
Well, call us back.
All right, dude.
All right.
Take care.
Anybody else who wants to call, give us a call here, 877-722-7382. That's 877-SCARE-U2. Jason, going back to your book that we haven't talked about at all yet.
Well, can I talk about Michael Savage again for a second?
Yeah,
Sure, go
ahead.
Yeah, one of the things that is the whole thing is annoying about banning him because you're right, it puts him in the same category as murderers,
Sure.
basically, and thugs. I remember, God, when was it? 7 years ago, maybe not that far ago. Pat Robertson on air asked for the assassination of the president of Venezuela.
Well, there you go.
He's still welcome in England, as last I've heard. That's a little bit more violent than anything that I've ever heard Michael Savage say.
I think that would qualify for inciting to violence, right?
But that's not
believe it
hate
would.
speech.
No.
No, come on.
Kill him. Jesus wants you to kill him. Pat.
Now give me all your money.
Bring me your money. Well, man, I read some of this stuff. What can I talk about? Can I talk about this?
Yeah, you can talk about anything you want to.
Okay, great.
It's your show.
Well, I know that,
Freedom of
man. I don't
speech.
want to give away anything though that you've got reserved for for other interviews or other people. And we did talk about some of this last time you were on. We did talk about the black-eyed kids, and that's just creepy, weird. Man.
And and not to be mean, I don't know how other people view this as whatever as far as the black-eyed kids go. If I saw a kid approach my house with a hoodie on, knocking on my door, and I turned the front porch light on and he had black eyes, I wouldn't open the door.
Well, they didn't in your story that you talked about. Now, did you interview this lady personally?
Yeah, I talked to this lady, and she was extremely shaken up by the incident. But this lady and all the black-eyed kids reports that I've read about, they don't recognize, they don't see the black eyes immediately.
Oh, okay.
It comes over time.
Yeah, exactly. It's something like they see kids first. They're kids. They start talking to them. The kids are talking very strangely, like they're a lot more mature than they should be. They're demanding to come inside the house or inside their car or someplace personal and private like that. And then they start feeling really creeped out. And at that point, they usually notice the coal black eyes.
Well, that's when you do what I do. You just punch them in the throat.
It's just a foreboding kind of sense of dread, I guess, right?
Right, exactly. They feel that something's wrong and something bad will happen if they let them into the house.
Well, one thing that's always been scary, I think, for me anyway, I guess it works, because apparently it's scary for other people too, because they use it all the time in horror films. Old people and children. Creepy old people and creepy children. Have you noticed that?
Oh, absolutely, because they are creepy.
Yeah. Speaking about
I remember a dream. Let me share this real quick. Keep that thought. I had a dream years ago, and I mean years ago, probably 15 years ago. I was, I'm not going to give my age. No, I was probably 17, something like that, 18. I don't know. But I had this dream. I had a cousin of mine. No, it's not like one of those kind of dreams. I know we're in North Carolina here, but it wasn't one of those. I have a cousin. She's been passed away now for a number of years. She died at the age of 22 or 23 of cancer. But I had a dream way before she died, a few years before she died, and I was. Or no, a few years after she died, excuse me. She was standing outside wanting to get in the car, and it was a dark, foggy night. And I was riding down the road in a car with some other family member of mine, and it's night and it's foggy, and we see her standing, up trying to, we're passing by her on the road, like kind of in slow motion. And I see that that's who it is, and she reaches out and tries to open the backseat door, which is where I'm sitting in the back seat because two other people are in the front. And I'm like, hit it, go, right? And, we speed up, but she still somehow opens the door, and then I woke up. But it's just one of those creepy things, creepy. I don't know. It reminds me of that film, In the Mouth of Madness. There's that one scene with a kid on the bike that turns into the old man. Are you familiar with this film?
No, I've never seen this film.
Oh, man, it's creepy. The premise of the film, it's an older film. The premise of it, and when I say older, I probably mean like 90s, 80s, late 80s, early 90s. But have you seen it, D?
I think I have, but I watch a lot of movies.
Well, the premise of this film basically is there's a writer, and his name's something Kane, and he's writing all these books, and people are buying them and reading them, but everyone in the real world's going crazy and murdering people and doing some of the stuff in his books. So the publisher sends their guy out and says, man, you got to find this guy. Right? And find out where he's at and bring him here or stop him or something. We got to get in touch with him. We can't get a hold of him. So he goes out looking for the guy, and the guy lives in this fictitious town that he created in his book, and they finally show up there. It's just a really creepy movie, but there's some creepy scenes in it like that. I don't know what that had to do with black-eyed kids or anything, but it just, I don't know.
Creepy, huh?
It was creepy.
Yeah.
And
well, creepy. You're talking about old people and little kids are creepy.
Yeah.
What is the creepiest scene from The Shining?
Which version?
The Stanley Kubrick.
Oh God, how long it's been since I've seen that? I don't know.
To me, it's when the little red rum boy is riding his big wheeler trike. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And he rounds this corner, and there are the twin little girls standing there staring at him.
Yeah, that is creepy.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
Yeah, that's extremely creepy. Old people are creepy, except you've never seen in a movie a creepy old person with a walker.
No, you're right.
Okay, so you can't get creeped out by somebody who walks,
wait, I can get close. Here. Exorcist Part 3, George C. Scott. You seen it?
No, I've not seen Exorcist Part 3.
It's based on another novel that the same guy wrote. He's a detective, George C. Scott is, and his friend is a
You're talking
priest.
about when they're in the insane asylum?
They're in the insane asylum, and the old lady's
He's
crawling on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's creepy. Ooh.
Dude, I'm sorry. Anytime I see George C. Scott, I don't care what role he was playing, he's Patton.
Oh, yeah, I agree, man. That's a great movie. It's probably one of the greatest films he ever did. You know, well, other than the Christmas Carol. But I think that's my favorite version. It ain't the gay Patrick Stewart one. It's the manly George C. Scott Christmas Carol, where he's Ebenezer Scrooge.
That's right.
But
well, and one of the going back to black-eyed kids, since you don't have kids, you might not even know what these are. Little people. Have you ever heard of these preschool, toddler type toys?
No.
Okay. Well, my kids have a ton of them, and they all have those black eyes. Scares the crap out of me.
Well,
You mean
nice.
like My Buddy and that kind of stuff?
No. There's a farm set. You open up the barn door, and it moves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've all got eyes like mice. Freaks me out.
I was always a big fan of the Weeble Wobbles.
I used to play with Legos and shag carpet. And I would lose them because it was like brown shag carpet and matched the color of my.
Okay, sorry. The way you said that.
Well, not Legos. They were what were they? The building block, the log cabin blocks. Yeah, you remember those?
Yeah, Lincoln Logs.
Lincoln Logs. Thank you. That's it. Anyway, Jason, hang tight with us for about 5, man. We're going to have to take our break. You're listening to World of the Unexplained on KFNX News Talk, 1100 AM. We're going to be right back. Our guest tonight's Jason Offutt. You can call us toll-free 877-722-7382. That's 877-SCARE-U2. We'll be back in just a moment after this. And welcome back to World of the Unexplained. Tonight our guest is Jason Offutt, author of Haunted Missouri. He's also got a website. What is it, Jason?
It's from theshadows.blogspot.com, and unfortunately there are some odd hyphens that are in there. It's from -the-shadows.blogspot.com.
Also, you can see it at jasonoffutt.com.
Yeah, no.
No.
you can't get to my paranormal stuff. I'm also a humorist. All my humor writing is at jasonoffutt.com.
Okay, cool.
Which some of it is extremely hilarious.
Some of it is. 877-722-7382 or 877-SCARE-U2. Speaking of scaring us, the black-eyed kid stuff is very, very creepy. So you interviewed this woman yourself.
Yes.
And she decided that she wanted to remain anonymous.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She was terrified.
Now, how do you find these people, man?
I don't have to anymore. When I first started writing about the paranormal, I really, really had to search people out.
Yeah.
But since I've now had two books published on the paranormal, plus my column from the shadows, people come to me, which makes it a heck of a lot easier.
Now, there's another story in your upcoming book where you talk about a face that haunts this kid, and basically, I guess it boils down to a demonic possession.
Right.
And you talk about how he still struggles with this phenomenon.
Right. This guy was he was fairly young when he started seeing shadow people in his house. His family lived in a old Victorian house out in the country, and he was seeing shadow people, and so were his parents, which he didn't find that out till later. But at one point when he was a teen and of driving age, he started seeing this thing more often, and not just out of the corner of his eye. He started seeing it straight on, and eventually he started seeing the thing's face, and the face turned from shadow into this red humanoid face. He said it had scars, a broken nose, and it just looked extremely evil. And it started talking to him. He ignored it for a while until one day he was in church, and he'd ridden to church with a friend, and this thing just started screaming at his head. He knew it wasn't actually talking to him out loud. He knew it was in his head, but it was screaming at him to get out of the church. And he wasn't going to go until pain started lancing through his skull, so much so he had to get out and just leave. And once he hit the street, he felt okay, and the thing told him to walk home, which was a few miles. And that's the last thing he remembers until about 3 hours later. He was sitting in his car at a gas station, at a convenience store, about 3 hours away. He'd driven 3 hours away from his house, and he doesn't remember any of it to this day. He's in his early 20s now. And the thing progressively got worse. The face he kept seeing it more often. It kept telling him that he was worthless, nobody loved him, that he was just a piece of crap, basically what it was telling him. And every time this boy would talk to his girlfriend, the voice would go away. The face, he couldn't see it anymore until he stopped, until he left his girlfriend's apartment, or until he hung up the phone. And then the thing came back, and what this boy said, it punished him. It would cause pain, and it would make him black out, and he would wake up lying, face first in somebody's yard. He had no idea where he was. And this continued for a while, and it got so bad that the thing was telling him to kill his father and to kill his girlfriend. And that's when he sought some spiritual help, and his father, who was a lay minister, they conducted a mini type of exorcism, and the thing has left him alone. He still sees it occasionally, so it's not gone. It might just be waiting for another moment of weakness, so it could take a hold. But it's leaving him alone for now. But that's one of the scariest stories that I didn't even want to take my notebook into my house. I had my notes on from the interview because it was so creepy.
Now my question is could this have been an actual, instead of being actual paranormal, could this have been just a psychological problem that the child was going through?
Oh yeah, absolutely, it could be. I mean, a lot of the paranormal could be psychological problems, absolutely. But how are we going to find that out?
Well, yeah, I understand. But I mean, that's one of the things when I hear people talk about, I hear voices and stuff, and I'm like, well, did you go to a psychiatrist about any of this? Did you seek some medical? Did you seek some medical stuff?
Having talked to a couple of exorcists, they're church, Catholic Church exorcists. That's one thing. One of the things that upsets them is that most ministers, not priests, but most ministers are taught that people hearing voices are first case psychological. They don't take anything demonic into consideration, and they just send somebody to a shrink, when it very well could be something completely different.
See, that's just creeping me out, because unfortunately my my nephew has been recently. He told us here recently that he's been hearing voices and that kind of stuff, and unfortunately he had a pretty bad episode, and he is in the psych ward for 72 hours. So when you talk about this kind of stuff, it just kind of really hits home and kind of really, really creeps me out.
Was not my intention.
No, I understand that. No, it's fine.
There are definite legitimate cases to where hearing voices in your head is a psychological case. I read a story a few years ago that there's a group. The story was about a group in England of people who hear voices in their head. They're fine otherwise.
Well, yeah,
right. But they just hear voices. And the story is about this guy who just finally came to grips of it, and he joined this group, a support group, and one of the guys told him, well, whenever the voices talk to you and you're in public, put your cell phone up to your head and talk back to them. People won't think you're nuts because they just think you're yelling at somebody on the cell phone.
Never thought of that.
Usually when I see somebody on a cell phone that gets on my nerves, that's what I think about.
Well, but then again, we all at some time hear, voices in our head. Sometimes it could be our, subconscious talking to us, or you've been ticked off by somebody that day and you're just thinking, Wonder how this hammer would look in this guy's head. But you don't act on it.
Yeah,
Officially,
that's
I'm
good.
no part of this conversation. Don't name names.
Fun. But we've got that stuff going on though, and then we had the one of the other chapters you submitted to me was about UFOs and about a state, not a state trooper, excuse me, but a local sheriff and seeing some crazy stuff go down.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is a pretty famous case in UFO circles, at least, out of Ashland, Nebraska, which is maybe 20, 25 minutes at the most drive south of Omaha. In I believe it was 67, a guy named Herb Shermer had gotten out of the Navy, and he didn't have it. He just got married as he got out of the Navy. Didn't have a job, so he moved in with his folks in a town close to Ashland, Nebraska, and he wanted to join the highway patrol. Well, he qualified in every way, except he had to go get a report from a police station that certified that he had never been convicted of a crime. And he went to Ashland, which was the closest big town. And while he was talking with the police chief to get this report, the police chief offered him a job on the spot, which he took. And a few months into his job, he was taking it extremely seriously. He was busting kids for drinking and making out on Lover's Lane and all that fun stuff. And one night on patrol, in the early morning, around 2:00, he was driving on this highway, which was still in the city limits, but was fairly rural. And he saw what he thought was an overturned truck. And as he approached it, he saw it was not a truck. It was a sphere with what he described as what could have been a catwalk going around it, but it might have just been a circle of lights that was hovering about 6 feet off the ground. And from that point, he didn't remember anything until he drove back to the station. But there was about 20 minutes of missing time he realized when he got back to the station that he couldn't account for. And he talked with an older officer who was there, who said, "Don't report this. Period. It's going to make your life hell. Do not report this as a UFO encounter." And Shermer didn't believe him and went ahead and reported, "I saw a UFO." And after that, his life just went to hell because the press got a hold of it, and people in town started making fun of him.
Oh, yeah.
But he was sure of what he saw, and there at the time in Boulder, Colorado, the Condon Committee was meeting and discussing UFOs and UFO encounters. They were trying to decide if this phenomenon was really real or not. Well, he was called out there, and he went out to Boulder and was interviewed by Dr. Leo Sprinkle. I'm not sure if you recognize the name or not, but he's pretty big, like I said, in UFO circles, as being one of the early hypnotists that did regressive hypnosis
Right.
Sure.
on people. Anyway, Shermer went out there, and I interviewed Dr. Sprinkle back in December. He's still around. And he said he believed that Shermer believed what he saw. And what he described under hypnosis were a couple of entities, humanoid, not quite human, a little bit different, coming out of the spaceship and talking with him, asking him if he was the watchman of the community. They were wearing earphones. They had a symbol of a winged snake on their chest, kind of an insignia. And they took him aboard the ship, according to this hypnosis, and described to him how the ship worked. Then they dropped him back in there in his car, and they left.
Hey, come on in. This is how all this stuff works.
Yeah, that really does sound strange. But he said later that he felt that they were introducing this to him for later training on how to actually operate the thing. And of course, when he got back home, all this had been, even the hypnosis stuff had been in the press more, and he was given a harder time. There was a dummy burned in effigy with his name across the across the chest in a local cemetery, and he was shunned by a lot of people. And then the police chief resigned, and he was promoted to be chief.
He's the man, yeah.
Yeah. He resigned later because his life was going absolutely nuts. He was doing things he didn't remember. He didn't realize he was doing. He was handcuffing his wife in the middle of the night.
That happens to the best of us.
Yeah, it's like,
It does happen from time to time.
There's nothing paranormal about that. What exactly year was this based around?
Did you say year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was December 3rd, 1967. I'm pretty sure that was the year.
That's what I'm thinking. So is this guy, did you speak with him personally, or is he still alive? Or
he's still alive, and he's a roofing contractor in, I believe, Georgia.
Did you speak to him directly?
No, I haven't been able to contact him. The people who know him said he doesn't talk about this anymore, period.
Huh. That'd be a great guy to get on the show.
It would be.
I'm just going to start calling all the roofing contractors in Georgia.
Looking for Sherman.
Are you this guy?
Yes. I talked to Brad Steiger, paranormal investigator, a longtime paranormal investigator, who interviewed him after Sprinkle did, and he got a few more bits of information out of him. But basically, it was the same thing he told Leo Sprinkle, and Brad said about the same thing that Sprinkle did, is that he's convinced that Shermer was telling the truth as he believes it. I mean, did it happen? Did it not happen? Well, at least one person believes it does.
Well, I just got an email from a listener. It says talking about they're listening now, and they read something 13 or 14 years ago about black-eyed kids and prominent encounters with them in the Seattle area. So.
Well, I would absolutely love to talk to those people.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah.
And they can call us now if they want to speak with you, 877-722-7382. That's 877-SCARE-U2. Anyway. And then press 1. I think it's 1 or 2. I don't remember.
I believe it's
Is it 1?
Yes.
It might be 1. I don't know. And I'll bring in direct. But it's just crazy, man. Crazy stuff going on. When's this book going to come out? I know I've asked you a million times.
Oh, the one we've been talking about. The book we've been talking about is called Within 100 Miles, and it's about all the paranormal stuff I could find within 100 miles of my house.
Sure.
I came up with this idea when gas was almost $4. Well, I think it's a good idea anyway.
I do too.
Don't worry, it's going back up again.
It's going back up, yeah. So I found a whole lot of strange things. It's sitting at the publishers right now, and it's going to be a 2010 release date.
Okay. Well, good. And who's putting this out again?
Truman State University Press. They put out my first book, Haunted Missouri.
That's right. Okay, cool. So they can pick that up on Amazon or?
Yeah, it's going to be a year.
Okay, well, that's fine.
but they'll be able to.
Now, do you have an editor for this? Or are you editing yourself, or?
Oh no, well, I always edit everything myself.
Well, I know that. I mean, I'm just saying because.
Yeah, and that's I married an excellent copy editor who graduated from J School and was a professional copy editor for a while, and she corrects all my screw-ups.
Oh, cool.
So there's not that many changes whenever it hits the publisher.
Isn't that great though? My wife does the same thing for me. My wife is an English teacher, so every time I turn in some sort of paper, she likes to correct it all for me, and then explain to me why it was wrong and what I needed to do to fix it.
Yes, I absolutely, yeah. No, it's fantastic. No, yeah, because she doesn't explain to me why it's wrong. I know it's wrong. I see the mistake, and I'm going, why the hell did I do that?
Just write fast, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's harder to sit back and try to proofread your own stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, especially if you read it over and over again, which you do in the writing process, and you miss things.
You're too close to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you need to, stick it in a drawer for a week or so and then look at it again, but you still miss stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, because if I know what I meant to write, I might leave a word out occasionally, which frustrates the heck out of me. But yeah, you're too close to it. It happens.
No, I understand that. I think we got a caller for you coming up here, man. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like callers. The show used to be full of them. And anyway, so I think it's the black-eyed kid. Who we got online?
It's Barry.
Okay. Hey, Barry, how's it going?
Hey, Jay, how are you?
Good, good. What's going on?
This is actually, you saw the email when I called in. This is actually an article I read many, many years ago while I was in college at UK. And the article was an account this guy had when he was in a parking garage coming out of work one night. And these kids were kind of hanging around in the parking garage. And they kept trying to engage him and kept trying to engage him. And he kept trying to get to his car. And he got to his car, and they kind of surrounded his car. And he finally figured out what it was about them that was creeping him out so bad, and it was that they all had pitch black eyes. So he left immediately.
Now, how many of them were there?
There were like 5 or 6, according to if I recall correctly, according to the article.
And he was just leaving a movie theater, and they were asking for him to drive them somewhere. This case is the first one actually to really hit the web and make people pay attention to the black-eyed kids. It was posted by a guy named Brian Bethel, who's a journalist in Texas, and I've actually recently talked to that guy, and he is shocked that story is still making the rounds like it is. He said it scared the hell out of him when it happens. It still freaks him out, but it happened to him.
That's interesting. Where are you calling from tonight, Barry?
Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky. Very good place. Awesome. I haven't been to Kentucky in a number of years. Last time I was in Missouri, I had to pass through Kentucky. Good state. Y'all been having severe weather here recently?
Just rain.
Okay, that's good.
Nothing too bad.
Well, cool. Well, you've heard Jason on our show before, right?
I listened to the podcast. I haven't gotten to him yet.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm up to the Rich Anders show.
Oh gosh.
Goodness.
Oh, Rich. Yeah, I hadn't heard from him in a while since we switched nights. But, well, cool, man. I'm going to shoot me another email with an address or a P.O. box or something. I'll send you a free book.
Okay, cool.
All right, man. Thanks for calling.
Thanks.
All right. Well, good. We're getting a call from Kentucky now. I feel better. Someone's listening again. It makes me feel good. Yeah, I don't know what happened. We dropped off, and we had a bunch of people, and then it was just kind of like a flux. I don't know what's going on. Jason?
Yes.
Okay.
Like dead silence. I was like, oh no.
Do what?
I thought you were just bitching.
No, I am. Just the general rant that I normally do. But no, man, I mean, it's really, I'm glad you emailed me those chapters, man. It looks like some really good stuff. I'm going to come up with a great blurb for you to sell bunches of stuff.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
The superstar that I am in the world of paranormal radio. I'll be like, who? Just this.
That's all right. We know almost everyone.
I know what was funny is that last caller had emailed me, and he had asked us a while back about Facebook. Are we going to do a Facebook thing? And, this, that, and the other. And he basically had said that he searched for Trent Lackey, and there's one in North Carolina. And he asked him about the show, and the guy replied and told him that he had the wrong guy, and he keeps getting friend requests and messages about Wotu. He said he apologized for the mistake, and he replied, "No problem. It makes me feel like a celebrity." I was like, "Who's this Wotu? What is this? What's this all about?" So that's kind of funny. We'll probably have to get a Facebook now just for giggles.
Barack Obama elected.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Maybe I'll change my middle name to Hussein. Maybe that'll help with the Muslim community. I don't know. But Jason, thanks so much for letting us waste your time again tonight.
That's okay. Hey, no, I always love wasting my time on Wotu.
All right, well, cool, man.
Not a waste of time whatsoever.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
We appreciate that. And
we're looking forward to hearing more out of you. JasonOffutt.com and that blogspot thing. Go ahead and give it to me again.
From-the-shadows.blogspot.com. Just type Jason Offutt, that's OFFUTT, and From the Shadows into Google, and it'll pop right up.
Awesome. That's the best way to find it then.
Yeah.
Jason Offutt, From the Shadows.
Can I plug something else?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, my book on shadow people has been out about 2 weeks, and it's available on Amazon.com or at AnomalousBooks.com. If you're at Amazon.com, make sure you read one of the reviews that is posted, because let me just read the first sentence. I gave this book 5 stars because it is the only book on shadow people you'll ever need to read. Every kind of experience is here. Okay, I'm going to read 2 sentences. The problem is that this book is so scary I couldn't finish it.
Oh, man, awesome.
Yeah.
You wrote that yourself, didn't you?
I didn't, and I don't know the guy who wrote it either, so that makes it even better.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for being on tonight, Jason. We appreciate it.
Hey, man, thanks anytime.
All right, later.
Bye.
Jason Offutt from, all kinds of books now. Check out his newest one, though. We got to get out of here, though, it looks like. This is Jay Scott, your only JD DJ on this network that I'm aware of.
This is Big D.
Big D. We're signing off and saying good night. We'll see you guys next week.